Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today, and I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you had a good weekend. Had a really nice weekend. My friends came to visit, and it was a lot of fun. But good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Scruffy. And Brayherd, you have won the crown of Furstendom yet again. You were stacking these crowns up in quite some great succession. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, so what happens when you have multiple crowns? Anyway, and yeah, Scruffy, I'm about 10 hours in, and I already love this game. So yeah. Hey, love. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to be doing some Clair Obscur Expedition 33 today, so let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. Just finished a task I was dreading, so going much better now. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, an echo. How far am I? Not very, and my controller just stopped working. There we go. That was weird. It just was like, feel like it. We are in the Forgotten Battlefield. We did a boss fight down here last time. We also, so last time we had the tragic death of, is it Gustav? Is that his name? Yeah, Gustav, and he's been replaced by Verso. It was very sad. Now we have to figure out how we're getting out of here. I think I found how we're getting out of here. Yeah, I just fought the duelist last week. This is the fourth time I've... this is episode 4, I guess. It was a good boss fight. The music was so good, too. Oh. You're around the same place. Nice. Yeah, I can't watch you stream it because I don't want to spoil myself. Because I actually don't know anything of the plot. Like, I know a little bit of the world building. Wow, look at these chariot pieces. I love the Art Deco stuff. It's so good. Okay, so we can go across there. It looks like down there's some stuff. So let's see what's across this way first. You still don't have enough skill points to learn something. You don't have enough skill points to actually learn something. No one has enough skill points. Up your agility a little bit more and smite. I really don't know what I'm doing with the skills, if I'm entirely honest. But oh, actually, I should rest, considering the boss fight. It's your last week of summer break, and then go streaming Clair all week and getting back into game design once the semester kicks off. Nice. I hope it's a good start to your semester. That's where we came from. I feel like there's a merchant back here. Orb. You can always recode if needed. Yeah, and I'm also playing on streamer mode because I am bad at Souls-like games and timing and stuff. I think I came from this way. Yeah, this is the way I came before I fell down and fought that boss. Today's your first day of class. Hey, that's awesome, Brayhard. I hope you have a great semester. Hope it's a good start. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that'll be fun. I haven't... It was so funny, though. I was signing up on the forum, and it's like, what versions of D&D have you played? And it was D&D 24, 5 ed, 5th ed, 4th ed. It's like, oh, I used to play, like, 3.0, 3.5, and Pathfinder.
Interesting.
We'll give Versos some screen time as the new guy. He'll be in for a much less punishing experience. Oh, good! Gonna have to bounce. Hey, you take care, Neko. I totally get it. Thanks for stopping by. Feel like I'm going in circles, because I probably am. Yeah, when you said you had a heist planned, I was like, I am so here for that. I love heist movies and things, and back in high school, played a really fun campaign where we were all level...
This the place?
Yep. Yeah. We can bury your friend under this tree, if that's okay with you.
The whole group had to be level 5 rogue, and then 5 levels of whatever else we wanted. And it was all heists. Like, we were part of a rogues guild, and there was like a whole urban city scape that we had to explore and go through.
Couldn't wait for me, could you? I wish we could.
Rest easy, Gustav.
I'll finish what you started. The paintress, Renoir, they will pay.
No more dome. Just open skies.
I'll save them, Gustav. Emma, your apprentices, everyone.
You can leave it to us. You were always there for me.
I'll save them.
Say hi to Soph for me, yeah?
We could never tell if you were my brother or my father. But to me, you were both. Best brother and father I've ever had.
When one falls, we continue.
Thanks for being my family. See you in the next life.
Hmm. Yeah, it's correct. These cutscenes are great. They're what I like about them in many ways is one, cinematically they're beautiful. Like they're well put together. The graphics of the game are gorgeous, almost photorealistic. But the writing is so particularly good. You know, the first half of that cutscene had no words, and yet was so profoundly impactful. And the words that were spoken felt very real, and also they weren't overly expository. Like, yeah, Mael was like, I couldn't tell if you were my father or my brother sometimes. But she didn't go in and be like, oh, I remember when you took me in, blah, 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 blah. You know, it was just, no, it was, it's giving the players the ability to draw in between a lot of, in a lot of negative space, I guess. But it feels very real and very human. It's so well done. And then there's SKA. Man, the total shift of this game.
For about
Just
2
the
hours.
best.
Then there's a big lake. We shouldn't go there at all. We should make a right, and then it's going to take a few hours, and then we make a stop. We get some rest and some food. And then from there, we head north to Monoko Station.
Why there?
To recruit my oldest friend. We'll need the extra firepower, because our next goal will be to take down the Paintress Heart.
Her heart?
Yes. You can't just stroll up to the Paintress. The chroma there is far too dense. It erases anyone who gets close. But if we destroy her heart, the barrier will fall.
Okay. So where is this heart? What does it look like?
What it looks like, that I don't know. But I do know that it's somewhere in the center of old Lumiere.
You found old Lumiere?
Yes.
So it's true. Before the fracture, our Lumiere was part of a larger city on the continent.
I've traveled with many expeditions. I was with the 58th when we found old Lumiere. But Renoir erased them before we could get further. And I don't know much more.
All right then. Let's go meet your friend at Monoko Station. And then, we'll take the Paintress's heart.
Okay. We have a plan.
How far up the mountain is Monoko Station? Will we see snow?
Not too high, but yeah. There's usually snow.
Fantastic.
Oh, right. There's no snow in Lumiere.
No, only in books and paintings. It's almost as mythical as Gestrels.
And just as fun. And sometimes just as deadly.
Oh. Really? My husband was obsessed with the idea of snow. I can't wait to see some.
That you will.
Not right now.
Your oldest friend is a Gestrel.
Yes. We've been friends for as long as I can remember.
Gustav would have loved that.
Why? Because he liked Gestrels.
Because he liked the idea of friendships that could last decades. We don't get to enjoy such long friendships in Lumiere.
How come Minoko lives so far from the other Gestrels?
Monoko's a searcher. They travel the land looking for Gestrels who went missing after the fracture.
The lost Gestrels.
Yeah. That and he, pissed off Golgra.
Yeah, that would do it. Did we have a Gestrel come to our camp who's like, hey, find me lost Gestrels? Wouldn't he be a searcher? Sup, curator? What weapons could I upgrade? So she has Troubadour equipped. Could upgrade it. Yeah, let's upgrade that. He has Verlesso equipped. She has Ramazon. That I'm out of stuff to upgrade with. You want to do a new game plus? I could see that being a lot of fun.
That was sad.
It was SKA.
Yeah.
You were sad.
Yeah.
You were thinking of Julie.
Well, not just her, but... Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. I do.
Too many games to queue. That's a mood and a half. Sure, we'll spend time with SKA. By the way, there is an article on Busted Halo about this game that was published this week.
Mon ami.
I read a version of it to help with editing, but I haven't read the final version. So,
Esquier, mon ami. I feel like I haven't seen you in years.
3 years, 67 days, and roughly 10 hours.
10 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh, you've been counting too.
Roughly.
you know the guy who wrote there. Who was that? Also, hi, Star Warp. Good to see you. Busted Halo is a website / media ministry that I work for. This is technically part of it. So if you go to Sean, oh, I didn't realize Sean had written for Busted Halo in the past. He hasn't written anything lately, so his name hasn't come up. So I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Yeah, no, so it's a website, editorial website on Catholic stuff. It's all about sharing faith joyfully. So we do all sorts of different things. There's also a radio show tied to it. But if you go to bustedhalo.com, or if you do !Busted Halo, that'll pull up more info. Did Francois ever...
Francois finally move out and get his own cave?
Francois would miss me too much. He hates napping alone.
If you're here, then isn't he napping alone?
Oh, he must miss me so much right now. Poor Francois.
Poor
sure he'll
Francois, indeed.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, I hope.
So how did these expeditioners convince you to leave your cave?
They're all so nice. Well, the super nice one died, but the others are cool too. You can make some friends too. It's been a long time since you made new human friends.
I don't need more friends. I have you. You know what I think about friendships with expeditioners.
You know what I think about friendships with expeditioners.
Losing a rock is better than never having a rock.
It doesn't have quite the same ring as "'tis better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all."
Ask me how I know.
Debatable.
I hope we won't lose them, like the others.
So, you lost your stones again. How did you lose them this time?
Yeah. I lost them on our trip back from the Chestrel River, right after you left.
I brought your stones back 10 times now. Don't worry, I'll help you
No,
get
don't
them back.
worry. I hope you get them back.
You are the best. I missed going on adventures with you.
Me too.
They've rekindled their flame of friendship. That was very dramatic.
To adventure.
It's adventure time?
How far up the map?
Not too high, but... oh, right.
No.
And just as fun.
Oh.
We're repeating this
my husband
conversation.
was obsessed.
Okay, so I can spend time with multiple people. That's cool. First approaches CL, who seems open to talking.
You seem less stressed than the others.
Is that your conclusion? After your extensive observation of our team?
Yes.
There must be better uses of your time than analysing our stress levels.
Well, it's important to understand your teammates.
Says the mysterious stranger who has yet to share much about himself.
Then consider this my attempt to be less mysterious.
Oh, is that what this is?
Trade you story for story? Ooh,
I'll trade you. A story for a story. Quite fair, I think.
what story
well-
does she give?
There are stories, and then there are stories. You first, then.
Something epic, full of battles, something unusual, strange wonders and
Something
mystery.
unusual then? Strange wonders and mysteries?
A bit impersonal, hmm? Not really how you get to know each other. I don't think that's worthy of a trade. No. Tell me something dark and melancholy and personal.
Ooh, going straight for the heavy stuff, huh?
If we're going to share, let's share.
Story for a story, right?
You know, it's interesting just looking at the interaction of these two characters, because, like, both of them are very shaped by the trauma of the world around them, obviously, but Verso, having basically spent all of his life now here on this continent and seeing sort of the front line of the war versus I forget her name, CL, who has seen more the tragic loss of the Gomaging. Like, they're both shaped by the same events in many ways, but are coming at life in very different ways. And it's very subtle, and I like how it's being written.
We'll see.
Verso and CL spend the next few minutes arguing whether CL should also share. CL continues to tease Verso, who remains evasive. Verso and CL's relationship grows a little bit.
Your oldest friend?
Yes.
Gustav.
Why?
So,
Because we don't get to enjoy.
I wonder what the benefit of doing this is. Beyond just the storytelling. Luna intercepts Verso as he walks by the fire.
Why are you allying yourself with us?
Not a lot of options out here. In case you hadn't noticed.
Take a bit to find out. I figured.
What
That
about
seems
the
how this
previous
game is.
expeditioners? Did you help them too? Yet they still failed.
That's a terrible way to ask questions. Do you always interrogate people like this?
Given the circumstances, I think we can skip the pleasantries, no?
Alliances are usually give and take. As are conversations. Trust goes both ways, no?
Alright then. As a gesture of good faith, I'll show you how to use Lumina.
No need. I got it.
Well, aren't you a quick study?
But I appreciate the gesture. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Trust works both ways.
It's a gesture of
Right.
good faith.
As I'll answer 3 questions. Choose wisely.
Only 3.
Someone's a bit greedy.
3 questions with 3 follow-ups.
You're really pushing this.
I think it's reasonable.
All right. Go for it.
Then I spend some time bombarding Versa with questions. Versa remains evasive. I want to know what these questions are! Nay is reluctantly intrigued, as is Verso. Interrogation is over. They go back to the others. I don't think I could spend time
How come
with
Minoko.
Mael.
lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. She's not in the mood to spend time. Sure, I'll write in the journal to Gustav's apprentices, even though I have no idea. Oh, it's Mael doing it. Okay, that makes way more sense. Mael finds a spot where she can write. She spends some time writing Gustav's journal to honor his memory. She gathers her courage and writes about Gustav's sacrifice, how he laid the trail. She hopes Gustav's apprentices will read this journal someday. Mael heads back.
Thanks. It really was a beautiful place.
Glad you liked it. We've buried friends there too. You were right about condolences. We offered them because we don't know what else to say, but there's no comfort there.
No.
All we can do is carry them with us.
I guess. Sorry. It's just wet.
Drowning in our own sadness. Hey, why did you join the expedition? I mean, with the Gamage, I understand the rest of the team's decision, but you're half their age.
Out here seemed better than in there at the time.
It's natural. Wanting to escape a life you don't want.
Escape. Yeah. That's what I wanted. But Gustav and the others, they really want to change things.
Well, changing your life also counts. Can't always shoulder the world's problems, you know? It'll drain you fast.
Gustav would probably say, if more of us cared, then it would lighten the load for everyone.
He sounds like a good guy.
Wait. I kept Gustav's, so you can have mine. You'll need one if you want to be an official member of our merry crew.
I gotta say, I didn't take you for an official kind of person.
Welcome to the disaster expedition.
Thank you.
Okay, so that one's in there to teach you that that's a thing if you skip the others. That's cool. Hey, Kit, thank you so much for the 32-month resub. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
How far to Minoko Station?
With SGA? No, should be quick.
What is that?
I'm the fastest bull.
Just found out you need braces. Huh. But British teeth.
Minoko Station is to the north, not far from here.
Hey, who wants care for a good deal? Plunging Bob. Or a French Bob. I don't. Is this gonna say danger? This is gonna say danger, isn't it? Yeah, painting workshop, danger. So far out, it's misaligned your jaw. That sounds like a need to get it. Wait, you must buy all the hairstyles. Why? What? Why do I need to buy the hairstyles? I don't use them. No reason. Oh, okay. Well, if I find a hairstyle other than the defaults that I want, I will buy it, but this game is so pretty. Did an expedition take a train here? I mean, I guess that's not that unreasonable considering we had one that was, they took a giant Ferris wheel.
Follow the tracks. They'll lead us to Monaco.
A train. Gustav would have liked to see that.
Is it true before the fracture, Lumiere had trains running throughout the continent?
Always running late, but running.
I'm gonna take a
Yes.
screenshot of that because that is pretty. Use that for the YouTube. No, look. Ice corridor. That doesn't sound welcoming. Oh!
Here we are. Monaco Station.
Is that a Grandis? I knew it. They're real too.
What's a Grandis? Is this a Grandis? Oh dear, your brother asked what she was for. That looks so cool. Oh, I love the Art Deco slash. It's a little all the glass work. It's almost Art Nouveau meets Art Deco, but like I love the twisting track. I love the etherealness. The you know, just the abstract nature of this game. It's such beautiful work.
If Monaco's not here, that means... slow as ever. Mon bien.
Your reflexes remain sharp as ever. I approve. Obscur. Did Verso pull you into another adventure? New friends.
You speak our language.
We had a lot of time to kill, so I taught him.
Ladies, could I interest you in a duel?
Definitely a gestural.
No point trying to talk until we've calmed Monaco down with a relaxing fight. Be careful though. Monaco's fighting style is a bit peculiar.
Watch out!
Yeah, digging this jazz.
He can turn into a Nevron.
Okay. Let's start with Focus Foretell.
My turn.
5 hits, critical. That's some nice bass.
I've got this. Watch out, my owl.
Eyes up, Verso.
Way too early.
Eyes don't lie.
On guard! Ready to parry.
I need to parry more.
Eyes don't lie.
Okay. This will hurt.
Get ready.
Ready.
On guard! Guard up!
Ah, dang it. It's my first fight today, and This is the problem of playing this game only once a week, is I forget the controls and I forget how to play.
Here we go.
Guard up!
Careful now.
I hear oh,
Whoa, whoa.
I heard someone come into the office. I was trying to look at my camera to see if I could see him. You know what? No, you're actually gonna heal.
Look out! The dance begins. Precise strike.
My turn. Light shines.
Oh, he's really weak to light damage. Oh, yeah. Got that counter. Let's go. Need to hit the road. Yep, please beat the storm. Good to see you,
No
Scruffy. You take care.
distraction, son. I'm really busy beating up strangers.
Noko, what are you doing here?
Yeah, with SGA, you're still so slow. Oh. Where's the man with the weird arm?
Noko, you said Nevron?
Yeah, Stalact is approaching. The Grandis are taking cover.
Oh. A stalact.
I've been playing too much Nintendo. Or A and B are switched. Okay, so elemental attack deals low single target ice, fire, lightning, and earth. 4 hits. That actually sounds really useful. Let's assign that. Let's replace... Let's replace thermal transfer. I'm not really doing that. Deals fire damage, applies 3 burn. Defensive stance applies 2 more burn per hit. Okay. Applies defenseless to all enemies for 3 turns. Ejide protects allies. I think rate of fire because we do go into defensive stance quite a bit. I don't really use guard up. I should, but I don't. Sealed Fate deals high single damage, 5 to 7 hits. Uses weapons element. Each hit can consume 1 foretell to deal 200% more damage. Critical hits don't remove the foretell. Plentiful Harvest. And Card Weaver. Yeah, I'm going to take the thing that says 200% more damage. Nope, and I should rest. What is this, Nevron?
Friends of Verso, as honored guests, the first fight is yours. Defeat the Stalact with your fearsome talents.
Right. Oh. You're serious?
Yes, he is.
This enemy looks like it came out of WoW.
Let's dance.
Well, that was pretty easy.
Verso, why aren't you using gradient attacks?
Ah.
I don't need pointers from the one sitting on his lazy ass.
You didn't teach them, did you, you lazy old fart? Very well. I shall generously...
Apparently he doesn't get to finish that sentence. Gradient attack. No, use gradient attacks. Each AP used to cast skills fills the gradient gauge. Once the gauge is full, you get 1 gradient charge. You can use... Okay. Shadowbringer.
Wow.
Okay. And that does not seem to consume my turn, so that's pretty neat.
You're fit to seal.
Guess what, Stalact? I don't care if you have all this armor. I literally have a thing for that. That went well.
You found worthy friends, Verso.
Jealous?
What are you doing?
I just need the foot. Aha!
He transforms by collecting Nevron feet. Don't ask me how it works. I've never understood.
Why does it have to be the feet, though? Couldn't it be, like, the hearts? Like...
Now that we've had some good battles to warm the spirits, to what do we owe the pleasure of your company?
We're heading for old Lumiere.
Okay, bye.
Hey, come on. Hey, hey. Hey, look. I know we failed before, but look, you doofus. Don't you recognize her?
Of course I do.
Then you know what that means. This is our shot. It might be our only shot.
This is your only shot. Out of the question. I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then.
Good.
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 Yes, good.
Noko's coming too.
Oh, you are?
And a lot of merchants go to old Lumiere. There'll be tons of rare shiny treasures, and then I shall be the undisputed top merchant in the world!
As a responsible parent, this is a superb idea. Let us go to old Lumiere.
Minoko, I'm not so sure you're a responsible parent, but, Oh, the Grandest came out now. You should go talk to them. They're nicer than Jestrels. Oh, but that's not possible. You should go to old Lumiere. You should take the exit to the north. Yeah, let's do Minoko's tutorial, because I feel this is going to be weird. The Bestial Wheel. Minoko's skill moves the Bestial Wheel enter forward. Going to assume that means clockwise. Each mask on the wheel upgrades specific skills. The Almighty Mask upgrades all skills. Upgrade skills are stronger or gain additional effects. Okay, so right now it's on the Beast. Or it's on Heavy. So Stalact punches. I did terrible at the timing on that. And, oh, okay.
Sweet taste.
So it moves forward based on the number of hits you do. Minoko harvests Nevron legs if he is in the party when the Nevron is killed. Enemies with lootable legs have that icon. Okay, so this is probably...
Time to bleed.
So that's probably the way he gets his new skills.
I love a dance. Violence.
Cast the skills of the wheel's pointer. Okay, so if I had the points for it, Chalier combo would be pretty good right now. You beat a Perlin, so you learned Pellerin Heal. Okay. Let's put Lune and Minoko in for a while. Oh wow, Minoko's really high level compared to the rest of the party. Oh, I could give him some Pictos. Sure, revive tint, energy. Why don't you level up longer shell, even though I don't care. And combo attack seems really good to level up. And then let's edit your Luminas. Empowering strike seems good. Will burn. Dead energy. SOS power is good. Marking shots and dodger, why not? We'll give you SOS power and breaking shots and staggering attack. Ooh, have enough to give him auto shell. That's pretty good. Nope. I feel like it's hard to go wrong with most of the Lumina other than the ones that are like, oh, it gives you this, but it makes it harder. Contrary to what some believe, guard duty is quite rewarding. I find it meditative and instructional. I observe and I learn, and I learn and I reflect. At least I do now. Now that the other guard is gone. They're quite loud and distracting. I can clear the snow and I can clear the rubble, but this is too much. Must we dispose of this thing? It does not obstruct the way, it's simply there. I think you can learn to live with it as a piece of furniture. Okay, so we're now on the other side of Minoko Station, so we're going there to Old Lumiere. Where did I start? I guess I started here. Worked my way to the Flying Waters, into the Gestural Sanctuary, up to the Stonewave Cliffs, and we crossed the sea, the Forgotten Battlefield, through Minoko Station. Old Lumiere. What's with all the swords?
Welcome, my friends, to Old Lumiere.
Is anyone still here?
Just Neverons.
So this is where our piece of Lumiere used to be. Before the fracture ripped apart the world and threw us into the sea.
We're lucky it did. That's probably the only reason we survived.
The heart of the Paintress is in the center. Let's go.
Place is an absolute wreck, but it's also pretty wicked. Longer powerful. It's a really weird way to put it, but... Ooh, healing counter. Recover 25% health on counterattack. That sounds really good. Revive tint shard? Yes, please. So Lune, I could probably... Yeah, I could swap out energizing start. Give you healing counter. Currently have energizing start 1. Oh, it costs 15 to... That's interesting. Burden, remove all status effects. Ooh, and gives them to Versa. That's an interesting thing. Leadership reduces current rank, gives 2 to 4 AP to other allies. Okay, so he's like a support character. That's intriguing. Whoa, Calmage! They got father to play this game. They did indeed. How you doing, Calmage? Damage increase for each aim-free shot this turn up to 10 times. That actually sounds really useful. I'm gonna take that. A lot of skills. A lot of things to eat. Her will upgrade vitality, agility. Her luck's really low. Oh, I have so many points. Doing great. Got a call from your job on Friday. They fired me early, too early, and actually wanted me to stick around for at least the end of the year. Okay, well, I mean, it still sucks that means you lose the job at the end of the year, but that's also exciting that you have something in the interim that is paying, and also you know it, so it's easier to get back into. So that's awesome. And also that means health insurance, I imagine, which is a good thing. Gives more buffer to look for something new, and yeah, health insurance with the baby. Yeah, that is huge. Wait. Okay. That was her level. I thought that was points available for a moment, and I was very concerned. That's all. That is wonderful news. Continued prayers as you continue to look for something new, but that has to be a huge weight off your shoulders in the immediate. It's like made of ice.
We'll need a way forward.
The heart is in the center of the city.
Yeah, we know.
All right? Show off a bit, Minoko.
Just admit you can't do it yourself.
hell did you...
Sorry, I fucked up.
Language.
I just wanted to show off.
We just have to regroup. The others should be fine. Verso said the heart is in the center of Old Lumiere, right?
Right. Okay, Minoko. Stop crying. We have to move.
Yes, sorry.
The Gestrals are so childlike, even the sort of adult or large ones.
Friends, I beg your forgiveness for landing us in this quagmire.
It's okay, Minoko. Let's move on, shall we?
Oh, what a weird looking... Okay, they're weak to lightning. We can work with that. Ah! Ah!
It likes you.
Brace yourself.
All new enemies, I don't know their timings. New York has joined a class action lawsuit against Doge to try to get their money back, which I think has been fast-tracked to the higher courts. Don't have a lot of hope that will succeed, but if it does, hopefully we should know the results before the new year. Okay. That's, oof. Best of luck with that. I wish you didn't have to go through that, but I hope that, honestly, I hope you win. But, yeah, oof. Prayers for all involved in that.
A storm is coming.
It's like weak to all elements. Oh, right, that's... I need to do
Taste of
that kind of attack. Or block. Oh, these things are so creepy.
Let us stain them.
Hey, Britt.
Elements, converge!
sweet taste of battle.
Okay, so we're unbalanced, so I want to... get some AP. I'm doing well, yourself?
Not today.
Ah, dang it. Missed that last one.
It's locked on you.
pretty not great. Oh no! Ah! Come and chill here.
Dodge, Ciel.
Eyes don't lie.
A storm is coming. Elements converge.
Careful now.
Nature work issues in prayer. I'll keep you and Katie in my prayers.
Here's your card.
That's more like it.
A storm is coming.
What's her gradient attack like?
This ends now.
It's pretty good.
Elements converge.
Look out.
I don't think this is the way forward, but I do think this is the way to treasure. Oh. A weapon. Weapon for Minoko. Minoko's weapon. New Sorrow. It's like twice as powerful. And parries increase the bestial wheel. Upgrade skills, do more damage. That's a really good weapon. There's no downside. It's free real estate.
How exactly did our piece of Lumiere end up on an island when the rest of the city is here?
One of the great mysteries. I wish we had more time. There's so much to study here.
Secret tunnel.
An
Do some money.
advantage.
It's actually a good amount of money. Surprise pocket sand. Oh no, there's 3 of them.
A storm is coming.
Yeah, we're gonna heal CL actually. It's my first item of business. Chevalier piercing, single target physical that pierces shield, 6 hits. Damage increase for each shield on target. I don't know if I really care to use that, to be honest. It does do increased damage, but okay, that was pretty good damage.
I'll do it.
Dang it, I always forget. Nice, triple counter. Okay, we're heavy on the wheel. So, select punches seems like a good idea. What? Oh, I really screwed that up.
Your turn to dance.
Time to strike.
Let the ink flow. Elements converge.
Your turn to shine.
I'm hitting the button!
A bit of violence, yes.
Agile? Don't think... I do have something for Agile. Chevalier Pierce. It seemed to work out really well last time, so... And it worked out well this time.
So, Minoko, what was life like before the fracture?
The world was smaller and cozier, livelier. There were many more of us Gestrels back then. The fracture tore our villages apart. Only a fraction of a fraction survived. Our forests are filled with Gestrels awaiting rebirth.
Okay, because Luna just leveled that. Energizing startup. I'm gonna... Okay, so the Gestrels used to live with people then. That's interesting. And good news, you got phone call went well on Saturday. Far less intimidating. Hey, that's awesome. That is wonderful news. You know what? I'm gonna put on energizing start rather than cleansing tint because I don't really use the healing tints a whole lot. Like that is nice, but the extra AP is pretty huge. You're excited for November? Hey, that's awesome. Oh, it's one of these things. I have nothing but time, I suppose, to sit and think. Are you a spirit trapped in the Gomage? These days, I'm just a man who sits and thinks. When she was young, she'd get sad thinking about mortality. But when I asked her about her sadness, her answer surprised me. Are you talking about the paintress? She paints. She wasn't scared of death itself. She was sad because there are more works of art than she'd ever be able to see in her lifetime. So many fables from around the world that she'd never be able to collect to bring to life in her workshop. All the beauty of the world she'd never get to experience. That saddened her. I encouraged them to believe that their dreams are within their grasp. But she proved me a liar. She did love to challenge me. Of all of them, she and I are most alike. All of them? It's important to remember the ones we love. To keep them alive in our minds when they are far away. Far, far away. Are you originally from Old Lumiere? I paint them so that I can remember them. Remember their faces. The man has gone silent. I think these are like memories of the paintress manifest as people. There's kind of a lot going on in this world, and I like how little I know about it so far. It's good storytelling. It's well written. How far in am I? This is chapter 2. I don't know how many chapters there are.
Doesn't that look like one of Esquier's stones?
Yeah.
Let's bring him a gift.
Lune does not like Esquier, it seems.
I was surprised you agreed so readily to Verso's plans.
He seems to be our best bet for now. We lack too much information.
Do you trust him?
I trust that he wants to reach the Paintress, so for now, our interests are aligned.
He has been helpful. Still, I have this feeling he's hiding something.
He is.
Noko, how did you meet Verso?
I don't really remember. I feel like I've always known Verso.
You mentioned traveling with other expeditions.
Quite a few.
How many? What happened to them?
What happened to them?
Maybe ask Verso when we find him.
Yeah, okay. Finding them comes first. Any idea what this is?
I'm afraid not. This is my first time here as well.
That looked like a giant head.
"58. They were the ones that Verso was traveling with.
I believe so. They made it surprisingly far. An axon. Interesting. Verso is... Is this true?
Mael's with him.
We need to go. Now!
Verso would never harm her.
I love and hate that they didn't tell us what she discovered.
Can you stand? Minoko gets a bit carried away sometimes.
My back hurts, but I'm fine.
Good. The others are probably heading towards the center of the city. We'll rejoin them there.
And find treasures along the way.
Feels like home.
Yeah. Feels like home. You okay?
Monoko fits well in the disaster expedition, eh?
Yeah. It does. After you.
Speaking of home, where do you live in Lumiere?
Above a bakery near the center. Angelique's Boulangerie. I ate there every morning. I wonder if it's still there.
It's called Mathilde's now. When this is over, you should go and visit.
Is that dude tall or is that girl really short? Yes. She is actually quite short. Why are you telling me I can upgrade attributes if there's nothing to upgrade? It's like you can see the rest of the crew. Yeah. I'm okay. I feel less incentivized to fight you with only 2 people. Verso, where's the
I
treasure?
never said there was treasure.
Nice.
And to be fair, Verso never did say there was going to be treasure. Just, little dude was like, there's got to be treasure. Just decided it. I'm going to have to fight these ones.
Just try it. Watch out, my ally.
Too early. In the virtual stance, let's start with a fleur.
Let's carve a path. Here we go.
Let's do that to get our grade up as much as possible.
Dance.
Yeah, I did the gradient counter. I remember the button for once.
Careful now.
Let's spill some ink. Finesse and precision.
You're outmatched.
We're a pretty good team. Verso?
Verso.
Verso? Putain. Where did he go?
Where did he go? What is going on?
Verso, where did you go? I need to find Lune and Ciel, quickly.
I'm still here. Oh, good. Verso runs off all the time. He's always ditching me and Minoko. He'll be back. She swore. They swore a lot in this game. It's why I remove the family-friendly tag when I'm playing this. Although they have been swearing less since the first episode. And I guess the circumstances for that were understandable. No, I didn't see. I thought those were part of decorations.
On me. Ready to carry. Blades sharpened. On me.
Ow. Too early. Man, I really wish I didn't lose stance there, but...
Ready to carry. Let's dance. I can do it. Ready to carry.
Ah, dang it. Misread which attack she was gonna do. It's always that second one I can't get. It had something that was like if in defense stance. Yeah, rain of fire. It implies more fire. Not that that's going to matter here. What was my prize?
Nice.
Auto rush. Apply rush for 3 turns at the start of battle. That's actually really good. I'm gonna give Neko a hello. Hey, good to see you, Britt. You take care. Hope your day gets better. Let's replace marking shot with auto rush. So I can still have marking shot. No, you don't see me. You don't see or hear me. No, 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 no. I said no. Ah.
Nice.
Haha. I will sneak around you and get an item. How about
Come
that?
close. This manor's intact. Why does it feel so familiar?
Because it's the manor that you've been to.
Know this place.
Hey, Mel. How you doing today? Ate lunch. That's good. 3 p.m., but you still ate lunch. That's good. You still ate lunch. Meat Bass. He can be whatever you want him to be. Okay, it's like the curator. It is. Oh, that's different hair. That is the definition of a shock of white hair.
I knew you'd open the door for her.
Really, Verso? This was your plan? How many times must you hurt our family?
No, no, you don't get to lecture me on family.
Why do you refuse to see I am doing this for us? Yet you insist on rushing toward death. You're trying to stop the wrong cycle.
You're doing this for yourself.
Of course. It's easier for you to think that, isn't it? Easier to betray us if I'm the villain.
So move. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Language.
You haven't told her the truth. Have you, son?
Oh.
Sorry we're late. We were busy doing a bit of reading. Were you planning on sharing that this man, the man who murdered our team, is your father?
Family is not my favorite topic. Right, can we talk about this later? I'd really like for you all to survive this.
Oh dear.
You
Incoming.
forced us to this point. She won't help you this time.
See, you say that. Damn, I'm stanceless.
I'm not angry, just disappointed.
Ah, way too early.
Precise. Strike.
You're outmatched. Incoming.
Tearing this family apart.
Way too early again. I got it though.
Elements.
So I'm having suspicions that the masked girl
Should be fighting
is
by my side.
ow. So many attacks.
Finesse and
I'm having a
grace.
feeling that the masked girl that we've been seeing, the one with like just the lower half, is like a simulacrum of Mael, and that Verso is Mael's father.
Flames. Rain.
That is my guess at this time.
Carve a path. Get ready.
Now, what that has to do with painters is a great question. And who these, the like curator and that other figure were.
Elements. Converge.
Parry it.
My turn. Here we go.
I have a feeling I'll want to take care of those. Strange masks. Oh!
Shout my out.
Oh, that's terrifying. Fortunately, dang it, I don't have enough to do rock slide, but I have the right tints to do rock slide's extra damage, so.
For me.
What did you just do to Mael? What? I blocked that last one. The petals heal Renoir. Ah! That heals him for so much!
Wait in danger.
I blocked that, but I didn't. That's
Spill some
interesting.
ink.
Am I supposed to lose this fight? I feel like I'm supposed to lose this fight, but I'm gonna try to not.
On me.
A storm is coming.
Ah, way too early.
Use this.
This will hurt. Guard up.
Yeah! I got the counter. That's a tricky one.
Elements converge.
Blades sharp.
Your end is nigh. Time to end this.
Ooh, 99999.
Oh well.
Finesse and grace. Blades brave.
Okay, so these I gotta dodge.
Let's dance. Ready to parry.
So we'll too late on most of those. Great. Love it. Love it. 10 out of 10. Ooh, that put her into virtuous stance. That's actually kind of huge. Dang it, I can't use Fleuret. I can do Mezzo Forte, though. Retain my stance.
Let's dance.
It's so not fair that I dodge that and I still get an Exhaust applied.
Let's carve a path.
I want to save one gradient for him. for when he summons the masks again. Or not the masks, the petals. Because it damages all.
Okay.
You get to heal Verso.
Time to hit big. This and precision.
Bring it on.
Let's start. Me.
And all? Yes! You have to run a lot. That makes you exhausted. Yeah. This old man ain't helping, though.
I got this.
This and precision.
Chroma is flowing.
Yeah! Let's go! It's not the last time we're gonna fight him, I imagine.
Everyone all right? Okay.
Locos. Broken.
Why can't you accept who you are?
Alicia. No, her name's Mahel, not Alicia.
What is that? Will you tell me your name?
Where did it go? No, 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 no. Alicia.
Hey, language. Okay, so the other girl I'm going to call Alicia, and she clearly had scarring that looked like it was from the fire, so I wonder if there was a house fire. And there's...
Dory, thank you, mon ami.
There's probably a lot of family drama around who started the fire, who did what or didn't do what.
Care to explain? Your father.
I don't think of him as my father anymore.
Still, why didn't you just tell us?
Because it's private. And it's painful and it's none of your business. I cut ties with him decades ago.
Lying by omission is still lying.
I've told you everything you need to know.
I'd rather make that determination for myself.
I think we can all understand where each other's coming from, right? He hasn't steered us wrong yet.
See, now's not the time to
But
be a
we're
bridge builder.
team now, and we won't get very far if we don't trust each other.
Family's complicated.
This child is in hibernation.
The stories say that Gestrels reincarnate. Is that true? Can you bring Noko back?
Partially. We can bring Noko back to life. But not all of Noko will return. It will be a different Noko. The one you knew is gone.
I'm so very sorry, my friend. And all for naught. The Painter's heart was in that manor, and now it's gone. We have no way to access the monolith.
Expedition 58 seemed to think you knew another way.
What?
We found 58 and their journals.
So that's how you... I wasn't hiding it. If that's what you're implying. It's a dead end.
Wait, what are you talking about?
There is someone else who can help us.
I mean, we've gotten into this manor from other weird ways before. Yep, that tracks.
Excuse me. Is it true? Can you make a weapon that can pierce the barrier? Do you need something from the Axons?
Axons.
Do you need their hearts?
Look, to create this weapon, he needs enormous amounts of pure chroma, which is way beyond what we can get from Nevrons. The only source are Axons, yes. But like I said, that's a dead end. It's impossible.
Why? What are axons?
They're massive creatures living on islands around the monolith. They're much stronger and much more dangerous than Nevrons. I can't die, and I still couldn't take them down.
Yet we found the corpse of one in Old Lumiere, so it's possible.
I don't know how that one died. But I'm telling you, listen to me, please. Our chances of taking them down without you lot dying, are close to zero.
Close, but not zero. Death is coming either way. And as expeditioners, if we die fighting.
Wonderful pep talk.
I know.
Okay, so we take down a giant. We're
All
David.
right. If we're going to fight the Axons, then let's be smart about it.
What do you mean?
I've had a few rough encounters with the Axons. There are 3 located on islands around the monolith, and we need at least 2 hearts to get enough chroma. One lives on a mountain too high for us to reach, so that one's out. We should start with the one to the west of the monolith. It's already been weakened by previous expeditions, right?
Yeah, good idea. Maximize our chances.
Or we embrace the challenge and pick the one in the east.
I like your spirit.
Thank you.
Did you listen to what I just said?
No, I don't think CL did, to be honest. Okay, well, we're gonna go hunt some axons. But first, we're gonna take a commercial break. So we'll be back in about 3-ish minutes, get a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, and we'll be back shortly. And we are back. Let's go spend some time with folks.
All these years and you've never defeated an Axon?
They're kind of tough.
And do you think our chances are close to 0?
I didn't think you cared about odds.
Lune and I have less than a year. But Mael's different.
Yeah, I'll spend time with CL. Friendship
Story
camp.
time?
Let me think.
Come on. You've been alive for over 60 years. You must have tons of stories.
Over 100 actually, so it's hard to choose. I need a topic.
Over 100 years, actually. So, it's hard to choose.
You're 100 years old and so indecisive?
All right, all right.
He's old.
Let me think. Okay, I'm going to share something deeply personal with you.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
It's about my hair.
That's
Your
not
hair?
deep.
That's a bit literal on the dark and personal.
Hey, I'm sharing a heartfelt secret here. Do you want the story or not?
Please, do share.
Sometime after the fracture, my hair turned completely white, like an old man. Luckily, the Gestrel village has a hairstylist quite skilled in color treatments.
Lucky.
But he's always napping when I get there, and his apprentice always mucks things up. I'm lucky my hair's not purple this time.
Purple could be fun.
So, your turn.
That was hardly dark or personal.
I don't know. Discovered that he's vain.
White hair? Old man, I'm revealing myself here.
All you've revealed is that you're vain and that you're really bad at making appointments.
Oh, he's getting dragged.
Vain? Hey, I'm not the one with all the bracelets and rings.
Actually, my students made these bracelets for me to remember them by. Because chances are we'll never see each other again.
Not necessarily.
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. My youngest student is 6. Her parents will gommage when she's 12, and she herself won't live past 21. Her parents did the maths. They'll have 12 years as a family, and she'll experience 21 years of life. These are the choices we get to make. The earlier you have children, the more time you get to share with them, the more life they'll get to live. And every year you wait...
You're shortening your child's life.
Precisely.
You don't have any children, though.
No, I don't, but I have my students. One of my friends, Sophie, said it best. She said she loves her children so much, the best thing she could do for them is not to have them. See? Dark and personal.
Yeah, you've set the bar high.
Come back with a better story next time.
The versus story was rather lacking. CL appreciates versus slightly more than before. Tina versus spent too long teasing each other before going back to the others.
Lune. Okay. We'll, talk later then.
Talk later. We'll spend time with you. First approaches Lune. He can see that she wants to ask him more questions.
I've been wondering, why stay on the continent alone? Why not return to Lumia?
I did. I went back. Helped with the rebuild. After the fracture, we didn't have anything. Food, shelter. None of it.
Things must have been chaotic then.
Nothing like the end of the world to bring out the best and worst in us. I almost missed those times. You know, the dome shield. My father and I helped build that.
Oh. Why'd you leave then?
Those early expeditions, they were search and rescue. We didn't know about the Paintress then. We just wanted to find our loved ones, like my mother.
I see. But this time, you didn't go back.
People didn't trust me. Guess I'm hard to trust.
Perhaps.
Guess they thought I knew more than I did. Halfway to the monolith, I was betrayed. Barely escaped. Kind of killed my interest in returning home. What about you?
Who betrayed you?
Do you miss home?
I spent my whole life studying the paintress and the monolith. This is where I need to be.
What a long-winded way to avoid answering the question.
Yes, there are things I miss.
You paint such a vibrant picture.
If you must know what I really miss of viennoiserie.
Oh, good answer. I miss those too. What?
I enjoyed this conversation.
High praise.
And it feels more relaxed in Verso's presence. She appreciates that Verso shared actual useful information. And it becomes lost in thought, reflecting on information that Verso shared. Verso feels ignored and goes back to the others.
Ready for the axons? Of course you are.
Yeah, I'll spend time with Mael. Verso joins Mael. They're throwing rocks by the lake.
Throwing rocks again.
Mm-hmm. You should try.
Eskia would be horrified that we're throwing stones into the lake.
Or he'd be super happy because we're sending them soaring on fun little adventures.
Oh, so they're like little rock expeditioners.
Exactly.
What would you make? Would that make you the paintress then? Would that make you Lumiere?
Would that make you
Lumiere?
Lumiere then?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm launching them on their journey and watching them from afar. Stone after stone after stone, knowing they'll never come back.
And knowing you'll never stop. Poetic, but kind of depressing for a 16.
Poetic, but kind of depressing for a 16-year-old.
Sort of phase, Mom.
Well, reality's depressing.
Is that what you're writing in your notebook all the time? Depressing poetry.
It's not all depressing.
It's lyrics to My Chemical Romance.
Why, what do you write about? You don't seem like a sunshine and rainbows type.
Mostly poetic insults to use on Minoko. I'm currently comparing him to the backside of an owl. Actually, writing is cathartic for me. It helps. Getting the thoughts out of my head and onto the paper. Giving shape to my feelings.
Can I see?
Kind of a personal
Ooh,
request.
Kind of a personal request there.
Oh, come on. I bet you secretly want people to read and appreciate your poetry.
Do I get to read yours?
Mine's kind of personal.
Well, so is mine. Okay, fine. I'll let you read mine if I get to read yours.
Okay, deal.
Be kind, though.
Yeah, I can't promise that.
Mael and Verso feel closer to each other. Mael proves to be extremely critical of Verso's writing. They go back to the others after Mael is done teasing Verso.
I'm sorry, mon vieux. We'll bring Noko back.
I know.
I'm ready. Just say the word.
When the time is right. After we've settled this. I see you got stronger.
Well, I didn't spend the last few years hiding in the mountains.
The mountain where a pelerin cut you in half and you cried for my help.
Yeah, the mountain where a Stalag stomped you and I had to evacuate you.
You want to fight?
Well, unlike Gestrels, I need sleep, so I'll pass.
Coward.
Have you
Well,
seen
we're
it?
headed into a fight.
In the mountains, I have learned inner peace. These petty provocations do not work on me anymore.
I've missed our little excursions. Yeah, you do too, I know.
Remember our first battle against the duelist?
Sure do. We got our asses kicked pretty hard.
And this one time we tried to swim to the Red Tree Island and you got eaten by that snake.
Oh yeah, it turns out living inside a snake's belly is possible when you're mortal. Carving my way out was a nightmare though.
Ah, this is the worst kind of immortality. And we were stuck in a building for a year. Remember that time when you challenged
Remember
Eskia
that
to a duel?
time when you challenged Eskia to a duel?
Well, someone conveniently forgot to mention that Eskia is the most powerful creature in the world. Good times. Oh, and remember when...
Minoko and Verso fall back into familiar pattern of their camaraderie.
Good times indeed.
They spend a bit more time bragging before going back to the others.
I'm mad.
What?
Eskia,
I'm stinking mad.
about Noko.
That was mean. I thought he cared. Renoir's not being Renoir.
He's not. I know, buddy. I'm mad too.
Of course I'll spend time with Eskia.
She reminds me of someone.
I want to see the Eskia cosplays.
Who? Well.
Have I met her before?
Well, you also thought you knew CL.
Oh, but I do. Wait, don't I?
You know who says all humans look the same to you?
You're the one who says all humans seem the same to you.
Oh, well, that's because you're all cousins. Same, but different.
Right, so maybe it's that.
You hear that, chat? You're all same, but different.
Yes. Ah, just like Verso is Verso's cousin. Mael is Mael's cousin. Yes, that's it. You're so very wise.
That makes no sense. You know, that almost makes sense to me.
That almost makes sense to me.
You're different, same. That's fair.
It's okay if you don't understand, Verso. You're still wise to me.
You're just a big ball of nonsense sometimes, aren't you?
That's why we're best friends.
Eskia and Verso have fun talking to each other a bit more. Their bond grows. Talk more nonsense. Okay, cool. Now we can go visit the curator and level up some stuff. Thought I got a revived tint or something. Anyway. Gonna give these all to Minoko because he's lagging behind everyone else. I need to equip her with Troubadour. Oh, she got a couple new things. Batlum and Malarum. Probably equip Malarum. She didn't get a new one. This is a huge increase. 86 to 375. Verlesso. Verlesso is still the most powerful one he has. Double gradient generation while in defensive stance. Start in virtuous stance. I do like starting in virtuous stance. Allies recover 20% health on switching to virtuous stance, but I don't really have anything to... she have any abilities that let her switch? Switches to virtuous stance if target is burning. Okay. Okay, so I need to have swift stride. And so I could do Rain of Fire into Swift Stride into Fleur Fury. Mel finds a spot. She spent some time writing Gustave's journal to honor his memory. She writes about old Lumiere and how the city was actually transported from the continent to the ocean. She hopes Gustave's apprentices will read this someday. I wonder what you get if you... SK ability unlocked if you finish all that. Swim through coral reefs. Expedition escape. SK can now take you to the continent from any expedition flag. Ooh. That's really nice, because that'll be good for, like, revisiting places. Knock, knock.
Swim, swim.
Okay, that looks like a coliseum. Cyrene. Okay, so that's the one to the east that we need to fight, is probably that coliseum. So let's go west to Visages. Oh. That ain't right. That is deeply, deeply unsettling for some reason, just seeing all those masks. Well, since we have this ability, why don't we do a little exploring?
Swimsuit on.
It was kind of unsettling seeing his tiny feet kick. It's just itty bitty little nubbins.
Let us get wet.
Where does this take us back? Why is this glowing blue?
No.
SK cannot go underwater. Wow, they're destroying the ecosystem of coral reefs. I hate coral. Aerodynamically, he should go that fast. He shouldn't go that fast. Yeah, but as we've learned, SK is in fact the most powerful being in the world. And there's a lot going on in that sentence.
Swimmer.
Where's Jestrel Beach? Okay, Jestrel Beach is on the other side of that rock face. Oh, there's a merchant over there. Oh, but I'd have to fight some things. But it looks like we can actually go pretty far back to where we started. Falling leaves. Danger.
Time for swim.
It is time for swim, SKA. That's a giant Nevron, but that's not an Axon? Yeah, because this is... Yes, this is the Forgotten Battlefield. This is where we started today. So we started here. We made it across this, up to Monoko Station, into Old Lumiere. And now that we can go through Coral, SK is like, haha, I can undo all your progress. But that's good to know, so we could go back to Gestural Village if we wanted. I'm not going to 100% this game, I'll tell you that much right now, but... I'll probably do a replay on my own to 100% it. Excuse me. Salgen is the next island north. Boink. Visages.
So this is Visage Island.
He who guards truth with lies.
Are those faces?
An infinite sea of them.
What does it mean that there's an infinite sea of faces?
Well, that will help.
Oh, this is deeply uncomfortable.
Is the island singing?
This melody.
This is creeping me out.
Ah! Oh.
What's it doing?
I think they have indeed spotted us.
It's not attacking.
Was that an invitation?
So it seems.
Feels like a trap.
I don't mind a straightforward path for once. Better than battling through a mountain of Nevrons.
No, Verso's right. Something feels off.
Is it sending out a champion?
Oh, I'm harmless. You don't need those.
Well, if you're harmless, then these weapons will stay harmless too.
Touché. Well, Visage invites you to join him in his chamber at the end of this path. I assume that's why you're here.
Where do the other paths lead?
You're free to traverse them. Masks are not just to obscure, they may also illuminate. Look for the masks that you need.
Meaning?
The invitation stands.
What a cool design.
Well, head straight to the Axon. Or take the other paths.
What do we do, chat? Do we take the invitation and go straight to the Axon? Or do we explore the other way? Sure, why not? Is that a vote to go to the Axon? Ooh, rebirth. Kit revives an ally. That sounds like it's going to be really useful at some point. Remove Thunderfall, I guess, with rebirth. Luraga! This color, Fight the Merchant, is different than the others. I think I definitely want to buy these Resplendent Chroma Catalysts. Oh, dang it. Healing share. Let's take a look at our Pictos. I don't think I need to rest, but just in case. Okay, yeah, everything's full up. It's a couple different paths I could take. It's dark and spooky. That one, and this one. I guess, yeah, let's, let's accept Visage's invitation. Be rude to not Rota. Jesus is fed up with people sometimes. And this is one of those gospels. Woe to you, woe to you, woe to this, woe to that. He's saying woe to lots of things. And yes, they are important things for us to pay attention to, but also I think it's a helpful reminder of Christ and his humanness. Also got fed up with people, and that's okay sometimes to feel that way. It's what we do with it that matters, but...
These masks feel ominous.
There was something large in the distance that disappeared when the light changed. I would have traded my years for his. His life was cut short. He had so much more to do, to experience. This senseless war. Why? To what end? Lives shattered for what? He was innocent. Innocent! It was the folly of his elders, but he paid the price for our hubris. I would have traded my years for his. Well, who are you talking about? This place, this Axon, they're all part of his story. What do you mean the Axon is part of his story? Just before seriously, everyone. Yeah. Job application finally decided to contact your reference today. Hey, that's exciting. That's a good sign. God, no. Why? Why? Love what they're doing with the lighting here and changing all the colors. Make it very
Minoko, what does
bizarre.
that mean? He who guards truth with lies.
Exactly what it sounds like.
Guard as in protect? Or guard as in control?
Yes.
Oh, good. No. Aha. Oh, this place just ain't right. I love the, like, the sticks that you would use at, like, a masquerade that it's holding. That's a really cool design. It's gonna scream. Don't you dare put it on.
I think you pissed him off.
A mask emerges from the mirror. Oh! Ooh. I jumped. I'm so small, I don't know what the timing is in relation to. Ah, dang it. I screwed that one up.
Here we go. Here's your card.
Guys build shields with peace mask. Okay.
A storm is coming.
Yeah, I think I just do that to remove the shields. Okay, so it looks like he's weak to fire. Or at least in that form he is, because I think each of these have a different strength and weakness. That did a lot of damage.
Sweet taste of battle.
I need to move this to caster mask. So I'm going to just do a normal attack so that on the block I can move it forward.
Ladylike smile today.
Yeah, no. Okay, so this is the fire mode.
Romance flowing.
Let's do another elemental attack.
Elements converge.
It likes you.
Ooh, way too early. Ah. Why is it so unheavy? I thought it was supposed to move forward. This should apply regen to all of us, so.
Let's gamble.
Maybe you shouldn't take your advice about games. I don't know. I think we'd probably wind up here anyway. Unable to re-enter the mirror. I think that means that mask is gone now? Attacks with the anxiety mask. No, there's a millennial mask in this. Oh, that's the really painful one.
Now fun begins.
Okay, why is it saying bestial wheels at heavy when the arrow is clearly pointing at caster?
Need to take risks.
Your side of this?
Ready to
I don't
relate.
know.
Feeling better.
Okay. Let's have you use Healing Light because it won't cost you any AP.
From the bitter dregs.
Now it's on caster. I don't know. I do have a Radiant attack. Goes to the Almighty Mask. Yo! What up? This is Catholic.
Till the end.
Hey, NTC! It's like a raid, but not. How y'all doing today?
Your fate.
I'm getting my butt kicked by a bunch of masks, and they're creepy. Oop, way too early.
Feeling better.
Really want you to heal up Minoko here.
A bit of violence, yes.
Two Chevalier thrusts, that sounds particularly painful. Yep, that's pretty good.
On deck.
It is really cool music. The whole soundtrack is amazing. And I want to go listen to it, but I don't want to go listen to it because then it'll probably have names like such and such character's death. And it's like, well, I don't want to know that.
Your turn to dance.
Way too early. Way too late. Never played this, so everything I'd say possible spoiler. So don't suck.
It likes you.
No margin for error.
I don't like you healing.
Elements, converge!
A bit of violence, yes.
Let's use a gradient attack, why not? Yeah, that was pretty good.
Violence, yes.
And now that he's in Almighty mode, I don't have enough AP to do the heal. Dang it. Ah. That would have worked, except it wouldn't.
Here's your card.
Let's just mark that.
Your turn to shine.
I always forget that second one's a jump.
Your turn to
Those things work until they don't. I mean, fair. Uh-oh, anxiety mask. Hey, we actually dodged it that time. Let's go! That probably would have ended our fight there.
a bit of violence, yes.
Why is he back at heavy? I don't understand. Because we didn't do anything. Can you play this and give me a full verbatim recap of your Sunday homily? I can't give you a full verbatim recap of the Sunday homily, but the core of my Sunday homily is that we need to, well, not that we need to, we are utterly dependent upon God, and we need His grace to walk the narrow path.
People want so badly to know what's behind the mask. Front, back, recto, verso. Great art is both window and mirror. Whether it's your mask
Round 2?
Harmless, huh?
He's the real Axon.
Child, we all need masks, but how you use them.
So be it.
Oh dear.
Let's speed things up.
Let's... The masks of emotion. Anger makes him play a second time. Ooh. He has weird timing, and the lighting is hard. I love how he's holding his swords. I didn't want to say the return to his quiz was so much fun. Hey, thank you, TC. I'm glad you liked it. I had a lot of fun doing that. I'm thinking that's gonna kind of be like a quarterly thing, or like a 3 times a year kind of thing.
Storm is coming.
Because writing trivia is hard.
Elements, converge! Good.
No! My hard work! Okay, what do I have that uses the agile? Oh, Chevalier Piercing. Although, I don't know if I want to use that. Dang, if he had, shields. Set fire to his sword. Uh-oh. Ah! Hey, great encounter. Let's go! I don't know if it's invitation only or if this is out of bounds. I'd be interested in joining our 10 quiz. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to just keep it like rotating throughout the community of like different people, so. But like I said, it's gonna be quarterly, so like next one's not filed. Because I work on writing the questions kind of over the course of time, and I only have one thing ready so far.
Chroma is flowing.
Lumière, attention!
Swiggity swoop. Ow, now I'm burning. Sun, so I probably want to use something with Moon, but dang, she is like low on. Firing Shadow's pretty good though.
Let us sting.
Let's get some AP up for her.
Careful now.
so Caster Mask is good with the heal, but you're also just out of AP, so.
Your turn to die.
Yeah, TC, I'm also kind of treating the medium Hurton Quizlet kind of like similar to how Kitoni does Game of Faves. So, you know, if it's people I know, def more open to having them on. So, but if I had someone who like followed right now and was like, I want to be on, I'd be like, well, okay, let's.
Elements converge. Ready to evade.
Swiggy swoot! I'd really like to do Chevalier Thrusts, but that costs a lot. But his gradient attack is pretty powerful. A defensive aura. Mask Keeper now gains shield for each blow. Well, buddy, boy, howdy, do I have a thing for you. Stupid Joy Mask.
Dodge scare. Romance flowing.
I would like you to have you do a normal attack. I want you to be able to do Chevalier Piercing.
Look out.
Vehemently attacks. Have you ever vehemently attacked something, chat?
I'm waiting.
I'll do it.
I vehemently attacked pizza with my appetite. Right on. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Ah, dang it. I pressed the wrong button and it locked me in. You know what I think of that Mask Keeper? Bang, 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 bang. Ooh, this is actually perfect because I can just do Chevalier Piercing again. That's gonna get me real close, if not finish it! Let's go. But having it would be to hate something with a passion.
We did it.
No, wait.
I love all the masks smacking into Minoko's mask.
This mask can't hurt me. Because it is me.
Let's go, CL.
You okay? What happened?
Axon down. Let's bring this to the curator.
That was pretty awesome.
That was Verso, wasn't it? Renoir.
Me? You want me to give it to you?
Why?
That was... I saw...
What happened?
I saw... It was... Renoir?
I used to see him in my nightmares too. He can be quite traumatizing.
So is the curator the real Renoir? And okay, wow, a lot just happened. Okay, so Verso said, "Was that Verso?" to his mask, and she was just like, "Oh, that's Renoir." So apparently, all the people that we are representations of actual people. Which I guess, like a painting? Game gives me if X and what was not one movie with Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaacs, I think it was called Extinction? Extermination? I don't know. Like that they aren't all cleaned and coiffed after a fight. They spend most of this game quite covered in muck and grime and blood. I should have gotten some levels out of that. Oh yeah, I got 2 levels out of that. Well, 1 to 2. Grubby. Yeah. new skills. Guard down or agite. I don't really want either of those right now. I really want something that can put me into virtuous much more easily, but all right, let's can I save here? I should be able to save here. So when we come back next week, we'll pick up here at the camp. So thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow for more Wild Mender. I think that will be the last Wild Mender stream for a while, because like breaking it up just like I did with Spirit Fair. Wednesday, midweek Minecraft, and then Thursday, back to Monkey Island. Monkey. So thank you so much. Hope TC and love. Good to see y'all. Yeah, and thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you to everyone who's checked out the YouTube and the Discord. And reminder, when we hit 500 followers, going to do a bonus stream. Part of that going to do open community game. Might do like what's it called? Peak, because I know there's like a 20-person mod. So that might be fun, or like something like Duck Duck Goose. I don't know, but that'll be part of it, as well as just chilling out and me playing games for 12 hours and eating an MRE or two, because suffering. Gotta live up to that pain and suffering tag. But anyway, yeah, thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, all that good jazz. And let's see who's live that we can raid into. All right, gonna send you on over to Telly. Telly's a fun person with candy. I mean, actually, some of the MREs do have candy in them. But anyway, gonna send you on over to Telly. She's a cool person. She's playing Breath of the Wild. Raid call will be Father Raid, as usual. Spam that meat morp if you got it. But otherwise, hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.